Hey man, welcome back to G Council, man. We got another one for you. It's gonna be a good one. And y'all already know, man, before y'all get started, man, you gotta make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, man, come on, join the family. We're doing big things. And also make sure you go to my website, gentlemanscouncil.com. And if you need any help with coaching because your life is out of balance and you're trying to get it back together, hey man, schedule a consultation. Gonna get back with you and help you knock out these goals for 2026 and beyond. Because what we teach is life is a marathon, not a sprint. We set up systems, not goals, so that way you can become your best self and live your best life. You hear me? Amen. Let's get to it. So today, man, we're gonna talk about something that I did, and I think that it's really, really great, for people to decide to do this, especially once you start to get serious about where you're going and what you're trying to accomplish, in life. Giving up social media, man. Give it up. I think that unless you're making money on social media, it's one of your money getters, then that's something different. But if it's not, you got to give it up. And so I just want to tell you about how I worked on my personal, pillar, my personal development pillar by giving up social media. And even now I'm still not on social media. So it's quite different. And the reason why I'm not, I just feel like, we're living in the loudest era of human history. So 1 year ago, I realized I was spending more time watching other people live their lives than I was building my own. And not that I wasn't, handling my business and getting to the next level and, achieving goals, doing all these great things, but I decided that it was time for me to take it to the next level. So I went dark, and I've been dark over 365 days to focus entirely on my personal pillar. So today, I'm sharing the raw truth about what happened when you decide to delete the apps, silence the notifications, and finally face yourself. If you feel stuck, overwhelmed, or like you're living for the likes, this might be a video for you. So, time for people to tap in and come on. You know what I'm saying? So the breaking point for me that made me say, I kind of gotta give this up. I kind of gotta stop. Um, I'm watching everyone's highlights, right? And in some ways, it make you feel like you're behind, like you're not doing something right. And we know that statistics don't lie, right? Over 75% of people live paycheck to paycheck. So you seeing all these people do all this extravagant things in life and go on all these crazy trips, driving the Bugattis, Lambos, all this crazy stuff, right? It'll do something to your psyche and make you feel like you're not handling your business. Not only that, man, I take it a step further. I started to realize that my interaction with people was fugazi, was fake, right? Like you have this make believe of your relationships. It gives you a false sense of friendships. Um, on social media, I realized that most people I talked to was through social media. I wasn't really picking up the phone, calling, and having real interactions with people. And so you start to call these people on social media your friends, and they're really not. And it's nothing against them, but I remember when my father passed away, right? And you have all these social media friends and followers, and people you're going through day to day with, and no one knows that your father passed. Now, a real friend, I feel like, would know that. But these social media friends don't know. So they don't ask you, they're not checking up on you, they're not doing any of these things. And so you start to really realize that these relationships that you're having are fake. And so I definitely wanted to test that out, even too, with me going off social media to see, as well, like, will some of these people reach out to me? Will people, check on me? They haven't seen me post, they haven't seen me say anything, would they check on me? And 9 times out of 10, they not, because it's not real. You're living in a make-believe place. So those are some of the main reasons why, I said, I'm done. Enough is enough, right? I couldn't see my thoughts. I mean, hear my thoughts, right? I couldn't hear my thoughts. I couldn't hear my inner voice. You start to look, and I don't know if Androids, but I know on Apple phones, you could track like every single app that you're spending time on and that you're using, and you realize, like, yo, I'm on social media 6 hours a day, right? Like, yo, that's insane. 6 hours a day, you're on social media. You could be doing so much with that time. And then another thing, right? Just some of the topics, and then your algorithms get so screwed, and it's always about the racism, and it's always about the cop killing. It's about all of these different things, man, that is just bam, hitting you like a brick. And it's like, no, I need to switch some things up. And I felt like, my personal development was becoming stagnant, because I was growing in my physical, fitness journey. I was growing in my financial journey, but my personal development, who I was and where I was going, and the man that, I continued to evolve in, I felt like it was starting to become stagnated. My inner peace was leaving me. My mindset wasn't the same. I needed to make sure that I worked on it. And, also coming to the grips that I might be a little addicted to this. I don't think people understand and really look at it from that standpoint, right? I can, and I didn't realize it for sure until I took the apps off my phone, right? And I can remember when when I took the apps off my phone, I would literally unlock my phone and swipe to go to the app to press it. It was just like a automatic thing that I was doing, and I realized, like, oh snap, like this was like clockwork. I open my phone, go to the app, open it up. I'm like, yo, I'm addicted. I'm addicted to the app. Now, mind you, it's not on my phone, so I can't, open it or anything. But you know, it was kind of an anxiety. I had withdrawal. I was bored. Um, because now I have to, if I had downtime, because let's be honest, when you have downtime, typically you open the app up, you start swiping, you looking, scrolling, and now I have downtime. It gives me the opportunity to start thinking, right? I'm bored. What am I doing? Like, I'm bored. I'm sitting here and I have nothing to do. Well, you do have something to do. You could listen to an audio book. You can, listen to Spanish, whatever the case may be. Like, you can start to write down in your notes some thoughts that you're having of how you're going to get to the next level. I just realized that I suddenly had more time to do some of the things that I, quote unquote, wanted to do and that I was shooting to do for. But at first I was extremely, extremely uncomfortable. I was extremely uncomfortable, which is crazy. And so especially after the first 30 days, once I realized, like, whoa, I'm addicted, but then also I have this extra time and I need to start to feel it when I need to, because also I had to get comfortable with some silence, right? With just kind of being in myself, and just that one togetherness. I had to work through all of that. So I started to rebuild my personal development pillar, and I started to replace the time. So instead of scrolling, I started reading, I started journaling, I started to, take courses or classes, right? Have a Spanish tutor. So I'm filling that time with that. I'm journaling my day, my thoughts, you know, how I'm feeling about where I am currently as far as in the systems that I'm creating. You know, I'm starting to do all of that. And then I start to work and feel a sense of not interrupting myself, right? Because let's be clear, I could be, working on something. I'm doing something, I'm creating a course, I'm, trying to create something, and 10 minutes go by, pick up my phone and I start scrolling. And next thing you know, that what I thought was going to be a 5-minute break turns into a 30-minute break. It's ridiculously crazy, right? And so you're like, woof. And now you're starting to really dig deep and have a sense of focus on the things that you're working on, because you're not doing it. You're not picking up and you're not going to social media. And also, it made me think about how I was just using social media as well to non-voids, in my life, thoughts, you know, trying to live through other people's success, right? And at some points that gets a little bit much, man, because everyone has their own journey, everyone has their own story. And so feeling like you're doing something wrong sometimes when you're right where you should be. If you're working on your goals, if you're working on your systems, you're working on building and becoming a better person, 9 times out of 10, you're right where you need to be. Just continue to keep digging. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And so you keep living like that. And so one thing I started to notice as well over that time that I'm not using social media, the friendships, the relationships that I had, the real life connections that I had with people, they start to become, deeper. Because I wasn't performing for an audience, right? You're always like putting something on social media, you're reading it, you're rereading it, you're making sure that it's perfect. You know, you're thinking about what people may think of it. So you're changing up your wording. Like, it's a real big thing. And so now you're just having connections with people and you're talking and you're building. And it's no sense of trying to be perfect or say the perfect thing. Um, and that definitely helps build some of the relationships, that I had and now and continue to build. Mental clarity. I feel like brain fog started to lift. You know, my systems, my goals, they started to become, clearer because they weren't influenced by what's trending, right? I'll be honest with you. I love the fact that, people would ask me, like, hey man, you heard about such and such? And I'm like, nah, I have no clue. I'm so disconnected from today trend, that I don't, I don't know. I'm like, oh, I don't know, man. What happened? Whoa, that's crazy. This happened. Oh man, they on somebody's head because somebody said this or did this. All of that type of stuff, man. Like, that celebrity gossip. I'm out of the loop because I'm not paying attention to it, and neither do I want to. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? They're not in my inner circle. They don't dictate my life. I got tired of things outside of my control, quote unquote, dictating my life. And so that fog kind of lifted, and I started to learn, to be proud of my wins without, needing to post it, needing to, mention it to the masses for them to give you kudos. It's like, I don't personally need that. I never really did, but I can't lie, I do stroke you a little bit when you do post it. And so, but coming to the grips of, like, I don't even need that. I don't want that. I'm 100% good. Is a thing, and it's great. So I say all that to say, if you're unsure of where you are currently and social media is a heavy, heavy part of your life, it's time to take a step back from it. It's time to go dark. Do what you need to do. Take the apps off your phone. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, because before I took the apps off my phone, I tried to set a timer daily, but I would eventually I would start hitting the timer, right? And then just to say I'm bored, well, I'm not doing anything. I'll just be able to take that restriction off and then get back on, on the app. So I would break that where I was like, so I started with, okay, I'm only going to be on here 2 hours. Let me tell you something. That 2 hours go by so fast. That 1 hour go by so fast. You like, yo, that's it? Like, nah. So typically, if you are not doing anything, you put it back on. So take it off. Start to get clarity. And I'm not saying you need to go a year or, even months. It could be, just like we do fasting. It could be a digital fast for you, where, hey, I'm going to fast 3 days. I'm not going to get on, social media. I'm not going to do anything like that. I'm for 3 days, right? And just use it like a fast. But one thing I do want you to do is, if you get off of social media, I want you to spend that time that you would have been on social media to develop your life, to build on some of the things that you want to do. So if it's a book that you want to read that book. If it's a course that you want to take that course. If it's meditation that you want to do, yoga, work out, whatever the case may be, work out, do it, knock it out. Make sure that you're developing in this process, right? You have to have a healthy relationship, with social media. Now, will I ever go back? I don't know. To be honest with you, I told myself, for me to really get back on social media, I need to figure out a way to make money on it. Especially when it comes to Facebook, Instagram. If I'm not making money on these apps, I'm not going to be bogging down with them. And if you're worried about, people not talking to you because you get off of social media, then I don't know if they really your friends anyways. Social media shouldn't be the reason why, oh, I need to stay in contact with people. Your real friends are going to stay in contact with you, whether you're on social media or not. That shouldn't be your main reason or focus of you staying on social media. We have to get clarity. We trying to be our best selves. And sometimes you have to step back to really take the time to build who you are and where you're trying to go in your life. Hey, man, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going back. I really like where I am. I really like what I'm doing. So far, 2026 as well is a great year. I'm being super, super intentional with my goals of what I'm trying to accomplish. I finally come to an understanding that life is a marathon. And I keep chipping away. So start journaling. Journaling will help you see that as well too. Hit me up, man. If you want to talk about some of these things to help you, I got you. Book a consultation, book a call with me, and we're gonna work through it, because journaling is key. Journaling will show you that you are on the right path. When you start to look back over your journals, right? You start to look back at your vision boards, and you're like, whoa, everything on my vision board, I'm achieving. Everything that I write down, I get closer and closer to. And I've realized that everything that I write down, state it, put it down. And I mean, not a broad goal, but what I'm trying to do, how I'm trying to do it, it always comes to fruition. So what we're going to do, we're going to continue to build. That is the reason why I am on social media. Like I said, I'm not telling you to go 365 days, but I would challenge you to take a step back and start to fast. So whether it's quarterly, whether it's monthly, however it fits in your life, to get some clarity of where you're trying to go. But I also challenge you to use that time to work on things that you've been desiring and things that you want within yourself, your mindset, your inner peace, right? Your character, all of those great things, man. Use that time. We're talking about the personal pillar, man, of development. It's time to get to it. You got to be your best selves. All right, man. Once again, y'all already know. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this live, to my channel. I create shorts as well too, so be on the lookout for those. So just make sure to hit that bell, so that way you can be notified every time I drop content. And we're gonna keep them coming, man. Until the next time, peace. Y'all already know what it is. We living our best lives.